we now are starting to get a lot of data points that I think are showing the Trump economic policies are working. Now, there's plenty of people who don't like the president. They don't like a lot of things that he's doing. But if we just look at the data, it seems like we have backed ourselves into a high growth, low inflation economy. Is that your read on GDP growth, the inflation, the jobs number, et cetera? Or do you have some different view?
I don't think at this point, I mean, things could change. I don't think they're going to change much, but there's no way to get around the fact that inflation has been far lower than people thought. And then when you add in, and this is an important part for where we are today, I think people they've got short memories. Most economists were calling for a recession.
Great Depression.
Yeah. And they were calling for stagflation at the best case, meaning, well, we're going to have lower growth and we're going to have inflation running on the high side because the tariffs are going to go through. Well, both of those were not only wrong, they were wrong in a way that, and I wrote about this week. I basically said capitalism is effectively fractured and ending. And what I meant by that, as you read through it, is we are having 4% GDP. The last 2 quarters that we have GDP numbers for, combined, we're over 4%. Nominal GDP in Q3 was annualized at 8%. And during those 6 months, we created 0 jobs. And today we got the payroll number, but again, it's low numbers, and we revised down more than we created this month from prior months. So there's no way to refute the fact that the labor market is soft. Gas at the pump is down to the lowest level in a few years. And at the same time, housing or rents are coming down across the country. So we have declining inflation. And now what people are starting to talk about, and this is why I'm not going to give the credit to Trump in terms of the overall situation. I do think by the end of this year, people will start to realize that productivity gains are going up. And the question is, how much of this is around artificial intelligence? And I think a really, really high part of it is about artificial intelligence.
At transition, you're saying 80% is Hopper, kind of the current majority version.
Yep.
And the Blackwells as they're rolling out. What is the efficiency gain just in that iteration change?
So when you get to the point, Blackwell, let's say it goes from a 10 gigawatt, so 10 gigawatts of power to do the AI we're doing now. That's not the actual number, but let's just say that's what it was. So you're now going with Blackwell down to only 5 gigawatts necessary.
So it cuts it in half.
Cuts it in half.
Okay.
Rubin, which was announced, will take it down to about 1.
So it's a 90% reduction.
90% reduction.
From the current version to what is, I guess, going to come out in 2027.
2027, yeah. Okay. So the reality is, even if we never build another data center other than the Blackwells that are rolling out this year, that percentage of the overall power usage will go from 20% to 30% to 40%. Colossus 2, Musk's next part of Colossus, is supposed to be done in the first quarter. He talked about it on the interview. That's a massive gain. So that's why the models, and you use the car. Let's go further back than a Honda. And let's say when you left horses and you started with cars, and the first car is the Hopper, then you get to a Porsche, which is the Rubin. Well, the first car is going a max of 15 miles an hour, and now the Porsche is going at 150 miles an hour. That's what you're talking about. So you're getting more performance per the watt, and that's what Jensen Huang talks about. The reason that's important, the models get better. You and I see it. We love using them, and I love using them more. Well, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Eli Lilly, every company you can think of is going to start rolling out AI agents. Well, when you start rolling those out, the usage goes up. Well, you need more storage. You need more places to run these things. The hyperscalers need data centers to supply that. There is a bottleneck that is happening. So the companies, in my opinion, that are going to work this year, energy companies, because we need energy. And now it's all energy companies because of Venezuela, because of Greenland, because of defense, which I'm sure we'll get to. It's a major theme for me. But I think energy, we need power. It's not going away, and they're going to find ways to get it. Second thing is you're going to see financials, profitability story. You're going to see AI drug discovery. So the pharmaceuticals are going to be involved in this. Insurance companies, go through the list. Anybody that's a paper pusher that can benefit from AI is going to see their margins increase. And here's the story. The same way when ChatGPT came out, if you had the forward look to go, oh my God, we're going to need tons of GPUs. The gift that keeps on giving for the next 3 years is once efficiency gains start, I want people to think about this as Ozempic. You take that first pill, you lose a little bit of weight. As long as you stay on it, you're going to keep losing weight until you get to where you're as efficient in terms of your body as you can be. The same thing's going to happen with profit margins. Once you get more compute and you're replacing hiring and your profit margins are rising as a company that's been bloated, 3 years from now, it's going to be even better. So that story, people are going to start focusing on companies that are probably have a value component where estimate revisions are going higher. This is a major shift. And I've said it before, the biggest risk for this year is the size of growth funds versus the size of commodity funds, the size of growth versus value, the size of quant strategies that are momentum based. I think this is a massive shift that will last for more than a year. 3 years, this bottleneck will never go away. And Elon Musk said it. We can't get power fast enough.
What we don't see, at least on a large scale, are the countries that have the most oil, the most energy, et cetera. They're not really leading. It's the United States and China. Those seem to be the two countries that are pushing the pace here. Do we see a change on the geopolitical landscape where the alliances have to be formed based on AI? Like, do we see people having to choose, like, I want to be in the American Western Hemisphere driven, AI world, and what that means for privacy, what that means for security, what that means for energy. All of that is kind of, one playbook. Mm-hmm. And then the China model is something that may be different or opposite. And then countries that are in the middle start to making decisions.
Yeah. So I posted one thing this week outside of kind of my papers and Substacks. And it was a post on Venezuela because I had read a lot of things that people posted very focused on oil. And I think people have to understand that there's the power side, but we're not seeing natural gas and oil spike higher. Like, it's not happening. And the reason it's not happening is because the bottleneck is actually not with energy. We have plenty of energy in the United States of America. We have natural gas everywhere. And arguably other countries of the world could tap their natural gas as well. So we don't have a shortage of the commodity. We have a shortage of the infrastructure to get the commodity into the data centers for the AI. So that's why you see DRAM prices going through the roof. You see copper going through, silver going through. They're all necessary. And again, so people understand, copper could double from here. It doesn't change the cost of a data center. It is such a small component, which is why you want to be long copper. You want to be long silver. You don't want to be fading these things. This is not some speculative thing. This is hoarding because they're necessary for electrification. But to get back, the Venezuela thing, remember what stopped the trade war last year? It was rare earth. China went, we have rare earth. Okay, Venezuela has reserves of rare earth. Venezuela has some components that are necessary, but Venezuela is also an area in the Americas. So it is strategically an important place. What is Greenland? Greenland is a strategically important place, but it also has rare earth. At the end of the day, regardless of what people think, AI is causing a war problem. We are all worried about what's coming with AI because the military is changing in front of our eyes. So if it were just those two components, Greenland's popped up again. Venezuela, we go into a country and we announce an increase in the budget for defense, all within the same time period. So you can have people going, I guess we're going to war. No, I think we're preparing for the new military and making sure that the physical upgrade of phones, computers, automobiles, factories, and of the military is all happening. And that takes certain commodities. It is not a energy, oil, natural gas hoarding thing, because that is a bottleneck. The bottleneck is all the components that are necessary. It's not, you don't need the gas if you actually can't get the transformers and all the pieces. And that's why we've got bottlenecks that are happening inside the way to the data center, not actually in the ground at this point.